What's up, everyone? Welcome to Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Jake Brannon. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This is our Thanksgiving episode, so we're just going to have a lot of fun here today. Talk about some things we're thankful for. We're going to get into some real talk to see we can debate a little bit between the three of us. And then I've got some fun games towards the end in the Thanksgiving spirit. So welcome in, Trey. How was your weekend?
It was great. I was actually in a wedding, so my congratulations to my brother-in-law and his new bride. So my wife's brother is older than Shelby, but they put on a nice little quaint wedding in nice little inn in the Charlotte area, and so it was. We had the rehearsal on Friday, and that was great. Some good food, and then Saturday had the ceremony. Well, watch college football pretty much. I mean, now if you guys know how weddings work, if you guys have been in weddings, it's like the girls spend literally all day getting ready. Like they're there at 9 a.m., so we're there early, and then the dudes just sit there for 6 hours and watch college football, and then it's like, oh no, we gotta get ready, and we're ready in 6 minutes, and
Must be nice.
and then we take photos, and then we have the ceremony, and then off the races to the dance floor and the open bar. So it was a good time. It was a good time. I was a little bit slow on Sunday, and then I literally got out and I was like, okay, here we go. And then Sunday had to go do the regional all day inside the HQ. And so that was an adventure. And then we had got rid of some of the tables and the score tables in a laptop that I used for the score bug. So I'm like running around in the morning trying to find a different laptop because mine's a Mac and doesn't work on the ACL score bug. And it was just a crazy Sunday. So it was a busy weekend for me, all over the place.
I gotta say though, I appreciate when wedding parties do the pictures before the actual ceremony. That's what we did for ours. We did a first look and got all the pictures done, and definitely would recommend that for anyone getting married. It's so nice to get that out of the way before. And then you just get to enjoy. So all my wedding party got to actually go and have appetizers and cocktails, and they weren't stuck taking pictures. And so highly recommend. Jake, how about you?
Yeah, my weekend seemingly was just as busy. It started Friday afternoon. I flew down to Charlotte to grab the old RV and drove an hour south to Columbia, South Carolina for the final college tour stop of the weekend. And good old Gamecocks Nation, baby! It was a fun day out there. It was a very quick little turnaround because it was a kind of a mess up on my part, right? Because when I looked at the schedule to book my flight, I looked at the wrong week, and I thought that it was a 12 o'clock noon game. So I was like, oh, that'll be perfect. I'll be done by 1 o'clock. I'll just fly out Saturday night. I booked I think it was a 7:30 p.m. flight out Saturday night. I'll be home nice and early Saturday night. And then we get into the meeting on Wednesday, and it turns out that I was completely wrong, and it was actually a 4:30 p.m. game. So that entire day, I was just doing nothing but stressing out. It was actually probably the busiest stop we had all weekend. We ran through 7 whole boxes of corn nuts, which have hundreds of bags in them each. So shout out Gamecock Nation. But we packed up really quickly, got on the road really quickly, dropped the RV back off at the warehouse, took an Uber back to the Charlotte airport, which is, just in case you guys are wondering, still the worst airport in America. I don't know if you guys had forgotten that or not.
Stop it right now, Jake. You're going to get in trouble.
Luckily for me, though, it was so late in the evening that there weren't that many people there. And I made my flight with about 15 minutes to spare. So I was good to go, but man, that was a little stressful for a little bit. But
you're pushing
I made it home Saturday night, which turned into a very early Sunday morning because I moved out of my parents' house into a new house that I'm renting out with some friends. So Sunday was a big, huge move day for me with my bed and my dresser and all that stuff. So that was a long day. Shout out Papa John Brannon for helping me out with that. So we are, this is the first episode in my new house, the basement.
That has good. The lighting's good.
Yeah, nothing on the wall. I was telling Meesh, I was like, this house has so much amazing natural light, but the sun has not been out here in about a week and a half. So I have not had a chance to experience it yet. But I'm telling you, when that sun does come out, if it ever does come out again, it's going to be nice up in here. So that is nice. So I'm finally getting the chance to breathe and relieve after a hectic few days of moving and working. So I'm finally here in my new house, and it is great. So we're ready to have a good week. I'm ready to eat some delicious food on Thursday. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's great. That kind of leads us into where we're going next, which is what we're thankful for. I'm not a big Thanksgiving food fan. We probably talk about this every year. Turkey's okay. I'm not a big fan of mashed potatoes. Stuffing is okay. I don't like cranberry sauce. Green bean casserole is bomb, but Nick's family always makes me bring green beans that I make just with lemon and garlic, so we don't even have green bean casserole. And I'm just no, not a fan. Boo, boo on Thanksgiving food. I want like
First of all,
crab.
get out.
I want
Get
like
out.
crab and garlic shrimp. I mean, a seafood boil will be good.
The single worst take you've ever had in the history of the world is that you don't like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Like there's not a worse take out there.
Okay, but don't you like your potatoes crispy? If I'm eating a potato, it better be crispy.
Yeah,
Well,
go to McDonald's and get some French fries then if you want some crispy potatoes.
No.
Give me some nice buttered whipped mashed potatoes. Oh my God.
Throw a little
Mush.
Garlic in there. Yeah,
Ooh.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
All right, so that's what I'm not thankful for.
I love Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, because it's not just about the actual day on Thursday. It's mostly about the leftovers that you get with it. You get to make those turkey and cranberry sauce and stuffing sandwiches the next couple of days and taking it to work for lunch for the next week and whatnot. So it's more so. Honestly, I may like Thanksgiving more for the leftovers than the actual dinner we have on Thursday. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that this year. We do every year. My wife and I we pick either Thanksgiving or Christmas, and we do that by ourselves away as just kind of alone time. And then we do the other with family. So this year it falls on Thanksgiving away. So I won't be able to do probably the leftovers because we're gonna go. We'll be going out. We're going to Atlanta for the weekend, so we'll go find a place in Atlanta to eat Thanksgiving dinner. And my wife already has a plan, so I'll just show up, and then maybe there'll be enough to have leftovers, though. Maybe I will get a leftover plate and be good.
There you go. All right, so let's start with you, Trey. Tell us what you're thankful for this Thanksgiving season.
Well, I wish I could be thankful for my Clemson Tigers this year, who have been absolutely god awful, but you know what? You can still finish strong, and during South Carolina Hate Week, we can walk away with a victory, win the state championship, and just look forward to the next season. We're going to a bowl, I guess, is something to be happy about. So I guess I'm not thankful, but I am thankful for my Clemson Tigers. In more of a, I guess, a serious note. Really, really thankful, of course, for the people that I work with. You guys included, mostly except Jake, but it's just it's a really great group of people. I think last year I kind of said something similar when we did this, but one thing I don't think people appreciate when it comes to the staff within the ACL is like how focused they are on every single person on just making the sport better. And, it's a lot of dedicated people, and a lot of people work way longer than they should. They make way less money than they should, that we all wish we made a ton more money. Right. But at the same time, there's passion with every single person that works in this organization. And I think that's why the retention has been so high for people that work here. People for a long time want to be a part of it. They see all that is, and so I'm just thankful that, I have this organization that's as passionate about sport that I am, right? It's easy for me to say, as someone that's a leader within this organization, to say, like, I'm passionate about it and I, help drive the vision. And I think that's what has made the ACL so special, is finding other people from the top down. Like, I can't think of many other organizations in the world that have people that are as passionate about what they do as this group. So, kudos to all of you, and obviously you two on the call here, but for everybody else that's a part of this organization. And even if you're a director that's running, I'd even throw you in the mix, a director that's running one tournament a month on a Tuesday or something like that. You're all part of it as well, and you have a passion for the game. And I'm thankful for each one of you that have, I've thrown something in there. And then, obviously you got to be, thankful for the family that lets us all do it. And, Thankful, shout out to my old man at the ripe age of 60 years old, started a brand new career path and is now driving trucks for a living. And thankful that yesterday he got his final sheet of paper that allows him to go on the road as a CDL driver. And he picked up his very first truckload of items this morning, 500 Christmas trees in Western North Carolina to deliver him here in the Fort Mill area. And so really thankful for him and what he's been to me and the relationship that we have, but also just, the rest of my family as well. We talked about the wedding this weekend. It was great to be with my wife's entire side of the family and appreciate them and celebrate with them it's a lot different than the family that I grew up with in so many great ways. And of course, thankful for my wife. I wouldn't be a quarter of the person I am without her. And she's an amazing person and continues to make it a great life together. So I got sappy there at the end, but
yeah, that's okay. 'Tis the season, right? All right, Jake, what are you thankful for this holiday season?
Man, well, I don't know, a lot, I guess. It's hard to match that. I guess I got to get sappy. No, no. First and foremost, I'm super thankful for the ability to do this as my full-time job. Right, to be able to work for an organization like the American Cornhole League. Coming from a kid who grew up playing cornhole and never actually thought this could become a full-time job. The fact that I worked hard enough to be able to make this a full-time job and be able to make a living off of this is absolutely insane. Even with my $93 million mansion and in my 6 cars and my 10-car garage and my 15
you just have the roommates to keep you company, right, Jake? You don't actually need them.
No, I don't. And really, 6 of the rooms are for my wait staff that I have upstairs. So
makes sense.
No, but on a real note, I am just super grateful because going into school, knowing that I was going to be a journalism major, I wasn't necessarily 100% sure what I was going to do with it afterwards. But the fact that I am able to use my degree right out of school and do it with something that I already love, I'm blown away that I'm able to do it. And I'm thankful for all the supporters, everybody who plays in the ACL, everybody who watches all of the streams. Man, I went to a local blind draw up in Pennsylvania last night. It was a place I've never been to before. There were 60 people up there, and I probably had about 8 or 10 people come up to me and be like, are you the guy who commentates all the live streams? I was like, yeah, that's me. He's like, dude, I watch you all the time. Like you and Trey and Michelle and all them. I was like, that is so cool that you do that and that you're here right now. Like that's awesome, right? That's never in a million years that I think that would actually happen to me. So I'm very thankful for everybody who's listening and watching at home. Who was able to support this and able to support me. And because without you guys, none of us would be here right now. That is something that it's hard to think about, right? If it wasn't for all the fans, Trey would be an engineer somewhere. Michelle would be a motivational speaker somewhere. And I don't know where I would be, honestly. So I'm thankful for that. I'm also very thankful for my parents, right? I think I was on the Thanksgiving show last year, and I got a lot of slack for not saying I'm thankful for my parents. So I am, without a doubt, 100% thankful for my mom, Kelly, my dad, John. Without them, I wouldn't be here at all. Literally, if it wasn't for them helping me move into this new house this past weekend, I would be a wreck right now. And they've done so much for me over these past 25 years of living. So I don't know where I would be without them either. And I think we can all agree as a unity who else we're thankful for. I think I know I'm thankful for my Lord and Savior. I hope you guys thankful for your Lord and Savior, Lamar Jackson, as well. So if it wasn't for him, I don't sports would not be a thing for me. So I will always love and appreciate my Lord and Savior, Lamar Jackson. He's going to take us to the Super Bowl this year, and I cannot wait.
He's going to lose to the Patriots in 3 weeks.
I did not know you were going there. I was like, okay, we're getting spiritual. Okay,
no, he's not. Lamar Jackson is going to smoke the fraud Drake May that he is, and those fraud New England Patriots, and he will deliver us to a Super Bowl.
Can we check the date on if we have it around the ACL the day after?
I have it right here. The Ravens and Patriots play on December the 21st. and it will be us three again on Tuesday, December 23rd.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
That'll be stressful.
Here's the good news for me, right? If we lose, we'll just follow the 2 seed. If Jake loses, he will never live it down. The Ravens will be out of the playoffs, and Drake May will be Lamar Jackson's dad. So like that's all that's at stake here. So this is a win-win for me, right? I can either bring joy to my friend who I'm thankful for in Jake Brandon, or I can completely ruin his life, which is, I mean, they're just both positives in my eye.
Yeah, I ain't worried about it. The Steelers stink. We could lose 3 more games. We'll still win the division. It won't matter. Wow. So I'm all right with it. So yeah, that's all I'm thankful for. Thankful for all of you guys as well. And I'm thankful that we have this bitter rivalry between us, Trey, because it's a lot of fun. Go Ravens. Hate the Pats. They stink.
Well, you guys were real wordy there. Okay, so I'm gonna go with.
Well, good thing this was supposed to be our fun show, Michelle. We got time.
I still gotta keep things on task, but no, I'm thankful for the cornhole world as a whole, including the organization that I work for and the people in it. Just the other day, someone who actually introduced us to a lot of the competitive cornhole scene around this area had posted a thing on Facebook that was they're having a hard time, and to see all the cornhole people jump on that comment thread and say, I'm here for you. We need you. We miss you. Come out. And that's not the first time I've seen that. It's such a unique community, and not just from my opinion. I don't have a lot of experience with sports, but when I was doing my research for my dissertation and I was doing the interviews, and there was a lot of people in that group that have played in many other sports or participate in other groups, and even they say there's nothing like this community of people. It's unique. It's, they've been part of bowling, they've been part of softball, they've done other things, and this group of people, for whatever reason, is special. And I just think it's so cool that I can call myself part of this community, that I can walk into any cornhole room in anywhere in the world and feel like I belong and I'm part of it. And that's not just because I work for the ACL. That's literally just because I throw bags. So that's true for every single person. So the passion that Trey was talking about within the ACL, I think really comes from all of you guys out there who play and are just incredible humans. So I just feel really, really honored to be part of this community, and I've found it. And I think it's really special, and I'm spend every waking minute trying to scream from the rooftops that cornhole is the solution for everything. So, and I truly, we have my sister-in-law and I were talking yesterday about some people who are kind of having a hard time right now in marriages and things. And we're like, what they should do is just start playing cornhole. We just think it's the solution for everything. They should just start playing cornhole. It'll fix everything. And I just think that it's really cool, and I will not rest until everybody knows that. Of course, I'm thankful for my husband, Nick, and my son, Rome, and the rest of my family who are super supportive. And I'm grateful to be done with my PhD forever and never have to be in school ever again. Let's hope. It's been a long journey. So yeah. Now we're gonna kind of change things up. That was really nice, and everyone was really happy. But we're gonna get into some real talk. So last time we did real talk, there's quite a debate between the two of you. Maybe not this time. We shall see. But the first question we're going to discuss is it okay to not allow pros to attend local events? Trey.
I've always thought the answer to this was no, but I always think no matter what tournament you're running, there's always an opportunity to split it up with divisions, candidly. And it doesn't need to be pro only, but I believe that every good tournament and every good outing does have, back in the day, we called it a competitive and a social division, right? There's always a way to break it up, right? And I think when you separate, there's two different types of people that want to play cornhole with big groups, right? There's people that want to do it because they have a drive for competition and winning and maybe want to get a prize or reward or whatever it is, or they want to play because it's fun and it's something to do on a Saturday. It's something to do on a Tuesday. And yeah, if it gets the competitive juices flowing, great. If I walk out of there with a little medal, great. But for me, I'm just out there having fun. And so if you have those, and everybody's mindset's a little bit different, but in general, most people's mindsets, on the most part, can fit in one of those two different buckets. So I think you can solve most issues by just having two divisions, right? Sure, you can have 3, you can have 4, you can have 5, depending on how many people there are. But a minimum, if you have 2, you're kind of in a safer spot. So I don't like excluding people in any way, shape, or form. I just like finding a way to make it more creative and a better experience for everybody. So personally, I would say, yeah, I don't like events that exclude anybody for any reason.
So it's not just, so I think that's actually the easy part, doing the competitive social. The people complaining about the pros aren't the social players. It's the people who are competitive and go, I'll never beat so-and-so in my area. Right. So that's what makes it tough is if you could mix the pros with the backyard players and they're like, whatever, because they're not there to win, like you just said. But the people who are actually trying to compete, they're like, and they have that chip, like, oh, I'll never beat, if Jamie Graham's in my area, I'm never going to beat him. Like, what's the point of even going?
Yeah, no, I think that's, look, I get the idea of not thinking that you can beat Jamie Graham. I think there's just creative ways that, again, you can separate those out. But the people also have to realize that if, people are you could also split that 2 different things into what type of tournament is this? Is this a competitive money tournament? Or is this one that is social in nature, right? If it's social in nature, then I still think there are creative ways in which you could split people up. You can run blind draws. You can run different things. You can do all these different things in order to get there, right? And create an environment that is welcoming to everybody, no matter what the skill level is. If it is much more competition focused, that's fine. Split it divisions. You just can't have all the perfect element, right? You can't be the guy that's a 7.5 PPR, right, that wants to walk out of the building saying, I'm going to win the most money out of everybody there, right? It's just tough to do. Now, with different pairings, you maybe get paired with the best player, and if it's formatted right, and you win a blind draw or something like that, you were the best that day as a team or as a unit or as whatever. Like, that has a possibility. I think that's fair. It's just, it's tough if you're saying to yourself, I want the second division or the third division to make more revenue than the top division. I think that's where it becomes a little bit more hard to justify, but I still think you can appease through formatting a lot of different people.
Yep. Jake?
Yeah, mine's a lot simpler. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think pros have every right to attend every event. I mean, it's not their fault that they put in the work and got good in the sport, and all these other competitive level players haven't had the chance to do that yet. Now, I mean, I can kind of see it from both sides of the spectrum, though. I'm very on the side of no, there should be no pro events allowed. I guess I can understand it. If you're a guy running a tournament and it's a completely fundraiser level event, like it's like if you're running this tournament solely to raise money for a cause that you have, and you're afraid that if you allow pros, if you're in a heavily populated area and you allow pros, that a lot of these other teams won't sign up because all of these pros are going to get there, then I can kind of understand it, which is why a lot of events in our area are no 2 pros allowed. So a pro is allowed to play, but they cannot play with another pro if it's a bring your own partner event, which I guess I also don't necessarily agree with, but if I'm not gonna bite the whole bullet, right? I'm gonna take what I can get, right? So I get it in that sense, but it's still always rubbed me the wrong way, right? Because I've always been a competitive guy. If I want to go play a Cornhole tournament, I want to play the best, because I always say this to everybody who's getting into the game: you're never going to get better unless you play against people who are better than you. If you run around to all these local backyard tournaments as a competitive player and you don't play any of these pros and you think you're good, sure, but you really aren't testing your skills as much because you're not playing against these pros. You're not playing against these better players, right? Take me, for example. There's a really big weekend tournament this weekend in Maryland that I'm going to play. I'm playing with the pro. I'm playing with Justin Stranger. Are we going to do well? Hopefully, but I'm looking through the list of teams that are going to be there. I believe Gage Landis and Logan Dupler are playing together. That's a really good. That's probably the best team that has signed up right now. Do I think we're going to get our crap kicked in? No. But do I think we're going to run away and win the whole thing? No, because they're a really good team. But I'm not going to just bend the knee, right, and just give up because they're a top-tiered pro team. Like, I can still play sometimes. I think I have what it takes to beat them, but it all depends any given day. So I'm very, very adamantly on the no side, but given certain circumstances, I can see it where they can have
I don't
it,
think
so.
there's many problems you can't solve with good formatting.
Yes.
Well, you also
Exactly.
have to have the right mindset. Do you play cornhole purely to make money and win? And if you do, I think you're missing the heart of the sport. Those are usually, I mean, you can't control outcomes in life. You know that from every other sport you've ever played. You don't never control the outcome. And so if you're so attached to the outcome that you will only participate if you can control the outcome to as much as you possibly can, you're just going to miss out on a lot in life and it's not going to be fun. So if you can let go of the outcome and you can say, I'm going to practice, and the best way to practice is to practice against good competition, and I'm going to see people that I enjoy being around, and you can let go of the rest. I think that you solve that problem, and you can feel like you're honored to throw against a pro because there's not many sports where you can. That's a mindset shift. Always tough. All right. What can we do to encourage new people to play cornhole while still providing competition for more competitive players? Well, Trey, you kind of answered this one already.
Yeah, I kind of lean into it. I don't think there's a problem that formatting can't solve when it comes to new directors getting or new players getting into the game. And I think, we talk about CPI, and I know some people are probably annoyed with like, okay, you keep saying CPI is the answer to everything, and it's not. It is not the answer to everything. What CPI simply is a tool or a resource for people to use to then get creative in the ways that they can attack their area, right? Some areas have a lot of players that are very similar in skill. Some players have two pros that win everything, and then everybody else is in the same bucket. Some people are mostly pros with a couple of newbies sprinkled in there. So what this does is it gives you a tool that allows you to create various formats, right, that addresses people in your area. And I think the more resources and the data that you can have around that, it provides for a better experience. All people want to do is play against people that are similar in skill to them. I can guarantee you, the best players in the world do not want to play 5 PPRs and 6 PPRs. They get nothing out of it. They get no joy. They get no, they're not getting better, right? It just doesn't happen. The same thing, the reverse. The 5 play, well, there may be some instances in which the 5
Well, you only get
PPR
2 rounds though.
Right. There may be some instances where the very bottom player wants to play against the top pro just for the sake of competing. But all people want is to play people of equal skill, because that allows them to feel like that they have a chance on a good day to win. But if they don't play well, they lose. And that allows that competitive fire to keep churning in someone's brain. So CPI is just simply allowing people to create formats where you get more of that. And that
You have
is
to have
the
enough
key.
people though, Trey. That's a challenge. Like I know, like we always had divisions. At our biggest, we had 3 divisions, and we were the most successful. We had at least 100 people every Wednesday night. Easily have 3 divisions, 30 so people in each one. It was pretty even too. And my God, we had new players coming every single week, and we would just keep growing. But then as things have changed, we're down to 40 people, and it's like we can barely have 2 divisions with 40 people. And sometimes it's less than 40 people, and it just made it impossible to have divisions. And so now we have to try all these unique formats to try to level the playing field. But if you don't have enough people, it just becomes impossible. And then new people come in and they watch people warm up and they go, oh my God, I have no business being here.
And I think that leads to people. A lot of people think that, that's why it's so key to add new people and bring new people to your areas and to your local events. Because when you do that, think about everybody has this player. Think about someone in your head. Everybody close your eyes for a second. I want you to picture the player in your area that was not good 6 months ago and is now really, really good in your area. Okay. I just asked that, and every one of our listeners thought of somebody else, right? Nobody is thinking of the same person. They all got that guy that all of a sudden got really good in a very short period of time, right? If you bring 4 people to your cornhole league, one of them is bound to be one of those guys. I'm not saying he's going to be a pro after 6 months. He might, but after 6 months, he's going to be pretty darn good. And then there's going to be a span of people, right? The more people that you can bring, and I even incentivize. I tell people, incentivize those people to come and play for free. I know that's crazy to say, right? But it pays off of the long term. Get those people, get 4, 5, 6, 10 people to come to a local event, play for free, just get better. We'll show you how to play. And the more they get playing, the better they get. And boom, now you're seeding those two or three or four other divisions that you have, right? People just have to be okay with taking that little bit of short-term effort and a little bit of short-term, chance on getting additional people in there, because it sets the stage to keep growing from there.
But I'll tell you, we did a rookie night a couple months ago, and it was, really hard. I basically found 10. I asked 10 people, experienced players, to be mentors, and I said, we're going to bring in 10 brand new players, and I'm going to pair you up with each one, and you're going to play an entire tournament, and you're going to help them get better. And the rookies that showed up loved it, and the mentors were really excited to be able to help someone. And I made it free for the mentors. I made the rookies pay. I did the opposite. Yeah. And then I made it was paid out first and second. But I will tell you, it was extremely difficult to get those rookies. But love to hear your thoughts, Jake.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with exactly what Trey said with the tiered systems. But I also really like the idea of having rounders before the brackets even come out, especially when you seed those rounders based off of a stat like a PPR or a DPR, because it gives those newer level players a chance to test their game against some of the better players. But at the end of the day, when their PPR is inevitably a little bit lower, they're going to break off into their own separate bracket, and they won't have to worry about playing those top-tier PPR players. They worry about playing players with the similar mindset, similar game plan, so they can work on their craft and get a little better, and then eventually make that up, because it's something to work for, right? Everybody needs a goal, right? When you're first getting into the game, your goal could be to throw a 4-bagger or make 2 4-baggers in the night. But then when you get into these tiers, your goal, if you start down low in tier 3, you say, I want to win tier 3. And then when you win tier 3, I want to make tier 2 the next week. And when you win tier 2, you want to make tier 1 the week after that. So for me, especially with these newer level players, if you can get into the mindset, shout out Michelle, if you can get into a mindset of figuring out a goal, a specific goal that you want to achieve, and then you can work towards that goal, that's a really good way to expand your game plan, and a really good way to get better a lot quicker. So I really love the idea of tiers, especially with PPR. That's my go-to, but I also love the idea of these rookie nights and these events. Like, I went to a couple of regionals last year where they would have this backyard division that wasn't super popular across the country, but maybe 2 or 3 times during the season, they'd have a backyard division where they'd have these 5 or 6 teams that have never played before play against each other, just to get the taste of what it was like at a regional, at a big ACL event, and see if they liked what they liked. And if they did, they would keep coming back to play an intermediate, then hopefully get up to competitive, advanced, open, or in this case now tier 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I really like these ideas. I think there are plenty of different ways to get these new rookies and newer players involved. It's just a matter of actually having your directors go forth and do about getting it done.
Everything you guys are saying is 100% spot on. There's only one little variable that we haven't discussed, and that's the human side of us. So what happens when you bring a new player in? And even if that new player, Jake, walks in and says, my goal is to get all 4 bags on the board, it's a beautiful goal. They're going to have a great time doing that. The problem is they have a partner on the other side. And that partner on the other side could be a jerk. Could be really upset they have the new person who's just trying to get bags on the board. And so unfortunately, because we're human and we're connected, it's really difficult to block out the other person across from us, their feelings, their thoughts. Sometimes they're not so quiet about their feelings and thoughts. And as a director, I try really hard. I always tell new people, if anybody's mean to you, you tell me immediately. I will absolutely make sure that changes. Everybody better be welcoming. And we are very strict about that. If I hear anyone says a grumbling about not wanting to play with you, they're going to have to answer to me. But we're human and we care. We care what they think.
Hands up, that's happened to me before. I think I want to say when I was 16 or 17, I had just gotten over that hill, and I had just started to get really good, and I played in a blind draw, and I got a partner who was not good, and I was letting them hear about it, and I was pissed. And as soon as we got eliminated, I drove with my dad because I wasn't old enough to have my license yet. As soon as we got eliminated, I stormed over to my dad. I took the keys from him. I went and sat in the truck for the rest of the night. And then when we got home, I tell you what, I got probably one of the worst chewing outs I've gotten in a long time from my parents about how disrespectful I was. And ever since then, to that day, I know to go out of my way to make sure that whoever I'm playing with, new or old, is having a good time, right? Because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. You want them to come back.
Exactly. I don't.
That's
I've
why
grown up
John's the
from.
man.
Yeah, right. I've grown up from wanting to win $50 on a Tuesday night to actually making sure that we're having fun, and my partner wants to keep playing cornhole after
Right.
this.
Exactly. All right. Last question. This came up because when I was doing my dissertation and interviews, there was one particular participant that brought this up, and not something I had thought about. Is cornhole special because the sport's different, or because the culture is young, connected, and hungry? What happens when money, media, and maturity inevitably change the environment, or will it change the environment? I'm not really someone who's been part of a lot of sports, so I really was surprised when he mentioned this, and it wasn't something I had ever considered. I thought cornhole just special, but he said, "What if it's just special because it's new?" I don't know. What do you think, Trey?
No, there's two different questions there, and I think the answer could be yes to both of them, right? Is cornhole special? Yes, it is special. It is a fact that there is really no other American-based sport out there in which the talent within the sport does not discriminate against any type of athletic background, stature, whatever it may be. There's really not. The closest that I can think of is darts. Darts is really not an Americanized sport in that way, right? It is very popular abroad, and sometimes you see that similar culture around it. So that part, I really think is special. It brings people together of any walk of life, right? And so because of that, I do think that absolutely makes it special. Now, is it still young? Yes. Is there a possibility for other things to come in and change it? Well, we've already seen that, right? All of a sudden, the ACL brings a different element to the game. It does change it. It makes it better. There's some things that makes it more difficult to deal with, right? But I honestly think it will continue to change, right? I mean, when the ACL sees its first $1 million maker, right? I think that the game will change again, right? I don't think change is necessarily a bad thing. I think it makes it exciting, but I still think it makes cornhole special.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, almost word for word what I said, right? It's one of the few niche sports that regularly gets airtime on national television, especially like Trey said, an Americanized niche sport like that, which drives interest. But it's also because it's so diverse, right? That's what I said. I said anybody from any walk of life can pick up a cornhole bag and become good at it over time, right? You don't have to be a certain height, weight, gender, etc. If you can find a way to be good, you will become more and more popularized with the sport, which is exactly what has happened for everybody. Like you look back at Mark Richards, right? He started watching YouTube videos, made a Facebook post in 2020, said, "I'm going to get good at this game." Look what happened. He's one of the best in the world right now.
Pretty good.
Which is wild, right? You can't say that. Like I'm not going to go on Facebook holding the baseball bat and say I'm going to become the next Shohei Ohtani and then be in the major leagues in 5 years. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. But I can do it in cornhole. If I actually set my mind to it, I could become great in cornhole if I wanted to, which is why it's so different, which is why cornhole is so cool, right? Because you have those 9-year-old, I guess, well, now today's Cash's birthday, he just turned 10. So we have a 10-year-old kid.
Whoa.
So
double digits.
We have a 10-year-old kid, and then we have my partner last end of the blind draw was 73 years old. That's an insane gap, and he was very good at cornhole. There's no other sport like it on the face of the planet.
But Jake, what about like we look at our pro field right now. This is a lot of our pros were not necessarily people who thought I'm going to be a pro athlete someday, right? There's a lot of humility and even kind of little awkwardness to our pro division, and that's kind of what I'm wondering. It's like, let's just look 20 years down the road. Are they going to be like what you see in a lot of other sports, a lot of NFL players that maybe have a different kind of thought because they're rich and they're famous and they're like, do you think
there could be,
okay.
There could be, right? And I think it's starting to change a little bit nowadays, because you'll see a lot of these younger kids who are looking up to all these juniors who are really good pros, and you'll see them make these posts on social media, make these TikToks to say, I'm going to be an ACL pro one day. I'm going to be the future of this sport. I'm going to make money doing this. So there's absolutely a chance where that idea could change over time. Will it happen immediately? Absolutely not, because a lot of these pros still have full-time jobs, and that's probably not going to change for the next couple of years. But like you said, you look 20 years in the future, absolutely I could see this becoming bigger and better. Like Trey said, once somebody makes that first $1 million, I think it's going to take that to the next upper echelon as well. And then obviously you have all the international stuff, variables as well, right? If we can get big over in Europe, over in Australia, if we go back there again, who knows? The world is our oyster, right? Is that cliche saying? So you never know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you guys both think the changes will mostly be positive. And so when I was doing my research, this particular person was worried it was going to actually change the environment negatively, become more of a, hierarchy where the pros are more superior. And, so I would love for that not to happen. I'd love for it to stay this unique community. And I'm curious to watch it grow. Trey added a question here. How sad will Trey be if Clemson loses to South Carolina? Jake.
Jake definitely added that.
We're going to Jake
first.
I
don't know who wrote that. That's actually really weird. I mean, I would assume it would be absolutely. Absolutely distraught. I mean, South Carolina, Clemson, one of the biggest rivalries in college football, right? I don't know. Cade Klubnik kind of stinks, though. I don't know.
It does in fact kind of stink a little bit. What would my no, I'm not going to be in a good spot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to just sit here and say that I'm going to be. I will be just as bad as Jake would be if the Ravens lose.
If the Ravens, there you go.
That's wrong. That's wrong, and you know it. I will be so.
I know. I promise you, it's not.
I will be so much more distraught if the Ravens lose on December 21st. You have no idea.
Oh, geez. All right. We're going to get into some fun games here, but just a quick update on ACL Academy. We've got some big changes coming in 2026. We just secured our 3 experts for 2026. That is going to be Spencer Fabianar, AJ Sims, and Dave Moore. So those will be your 3 pros that will guide you. What that looks like is each month they're going to walk you through a specific training protocol and focus for that month. So this is not lecture based. This is here's what we're doing this month. Here's what you guys are focusing on this month to become better cornhole players. So each month you have a framework to follow. You also get your monthly Q&A coaching call with me to work on your mindset. You can bring your gameplay situations to the call. This is what happened. This is when I choked. What do I do different next time? So you're getting the best of both worlds through these incredible experts, and then some coaching from myself, and then lots of other fun perks, habit trackers, things like that to keep you accountable. That's all going to take place in 2026. So head to academyacl.com to get signed up. Looking forward. They can't wait to work with you guys. They're so excited to have you follow their training protocols and actually see the improvement. They're going to be very involved in your training. So would love to see you guys join that.
I got to win one of those fantasy things so I can get that free subscription to ACL Academy, right?
Nope, you don't get that. Oh. Sorry, not for Jake. All right, so I'm going to read you some dishes. It's either the synonyms for the words or the antonyms for the words. For example, Trey, what's a gourd tart?
A gore?
Gourd.
Oh.
Gourd.
Yeah.
Gourd. Tart.
I know this.
Something pie?
Go ahead, Jake.
Is it pumpkin pie?
It's pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Oh,
you get it now?
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay. Let's go with bread filling.
I know
Stuffing?
it.
Stuffing. Okay. Yep. All right, Jake, how about this? This is going to be opposite. Solid fruits.
Solid fruit, so liquid vegetables.
That's right. Hold on.
So
is this like mashed potatoes?
Yes, it's mashed potatoes. I say Chad took some leniencies here.
A fruit is not the opposite of a potato. What?
I argue with Chad.
I mean, it kind of is. No, I'll allow it.
Okay, like how about this one? Breakfast squares.
Dinner circles.
Dinner table?
It's a food.
Breakfast squares.
It's opposite.
Hold on. Dinner rolls.
Yeah, dinner rolls. He's got it now.
He's on a roll, folks.
Let's go with a sugared spud pastry.
Sweet potato casserole.
Sweet potato pie.
Pie, yeah.
This is supposed to be an opposite. Grape powder.
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah, there we go. Bitter.
Okay, hold on. Real thoughts on cranberry sauce? Yes, no.
Boo.
Apparently, you hate it, according to our messages.
I like it. I like it. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I like it.
I'm not gonna seek it out, but if it happens,
if it's there, I'll partake.
All right, bitter citrus salad.
Why the fudge is there salad with it? This better
It's
be
opposite.
opposite.
It's opposite.
Bitter citrus
hold on.
salad.
Bitter. So this could be like a sweet.
I have no
Sweet something pie? Sweet
potato pie.
Sweet potato casserole. You were
Oh, that's
close.
dang it. I said the other one earlier.
All right, how about a riddle? I never speak, but I'm the main reason everyone falls silent for a moment. I'm passed around the table, thick or thin, light or dark, and I only exist because something else had a rough day.
The turkey.
Say it one more time.
I never speak, but I'm the main reason everyone falls silent for a moment. I'm passed around the table, thick or thin, light or dark, and I only exist because something else had a rough day.
Gravy.
Yeah, it's gravy.
I was thinking gravy, but I don't understand. I'm only.
I passed around because somebody had a rough day.
The turkey. Yeah, the turkey had a rough day.
Oh.
I grow larger once the event is over, yet I live in a space much smaller than before. I start as many things, end as one idea, and my true purpose is the next day, not today. What am I?
Leftovers.
Yep.
He's
All right.
I'm cooking
Last
now.
one. Last one. I'm a tiny battle with only two sides, won in silence, but celebrated out loud. My body is broken to grant a secret wish. Then I'm forgotten on the edge of the table.
The wishbone.
Yep.
Let's go.
Hey, did you cheat? Did you
Let's
look at all these?
go. No, I'm just
My
a
goodness.
genius, guys.
My
I've been telling you that
goodness.
for
All right, we got
years.
one. This is synonyms. Synonyms. Verdant, legume, bake.
Green bean casserole.
Yep.
Jake's on. All right, we need to end this. His head's getting too big.
This is a mic drop moment. All right, Jake, you are the Thanksgiving game winner.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
That's what Lamar Jackson's going to do to the Patriots in a couple weeks.
All right, you guys, are we doing hot takes? Go ahead, Trey. Give us a hot take.
Hot take. I didn't even think about this. I probably should have came prepared. Hot take is Clemson scores more than 17 points on Saturday. I don't know. I mean, I have no faith in it, but I'm going to go with that. I'm not even going to predict they win because I'm not that confident in it, but they'll score more than 17.
All right, Jake.
I do have two real quick. The first one is about Thanksgiving. This will be the greatest NFL Thanksgiving slate of all time. All three games are incredible on paper, and I hope they live up to their dream. My cornhole hot take, because I won't be on here for the preview of the Albuquerque Open. Richard Nyberg wins open singles in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. Mine is I play Jack in fantasy this week, and he's doing pretty good, and I'm doing pretty poorly. Although, like I said, third most points in the league. So I predict that I'm going to win this week in fantasy and start moving up that list to make playoffs, baby. Yeah, we don't want to talk
by
about
myself. Game lead, everybody.
We don't talk about Trey. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for our special Thanksgiving episode. We'll see you all next time to preview our next Open. Thanks for joining us.